Well, today let's talk about SOAR systems and how they are changing, how the concept is changing, and perspective on how these systems should be operating. What are they about? For the second consecutive year, we've been sharing about NG SOAR and the new generation SOAR, which is called to replace the older concept, and this is the description of what we mean, and I'm going to give you more details about the concept and about what this concept is all about, what kind of features we believe would be important to be a part of it. Let's take a look this roadmap from the past to the future. And we first began with ERP systems. We've added some automation and integration, and then we got our SOAR. It happened several years ago. It used to be working successfully, but then we realized this is not important. We were missing something to be attached to processes. It is not enough to make out-of-the-box solutions with some integration and scenarios, and so that it would be like working on its own. So the next stage was to improve this product, and we began to add new modules into it. We began to add new tools and also analytical tools, and to kind of make it like a one-stop shop kind of approach. And for example, this 7-8 years ago, it was not very customary to manage assets in your infrastructure. It was like in a CMDB systems, and we would be pulling it in when we were working on incidents. Now, hopefully, things change, and we believe it's also the matter of information security, like to see what we are surrounded by. And lastly, today I want to say about what kind of modules have been also added to our concept, and these are not our products, and we are seeing the vision. You can have like a lot of legacy systems you bought and you wrote them, but we are not suggesting to replace it. Don't buy us or any other vendors. Just use whatever you like, and we will try to help you to make the most of it. Our product has become even better than what it was sometime before. Now, I'll tell about processes and modules which should be a part of it. This is the list of the modules what we can do ourselves, and here there is no DLP systems and something else. Maybe you have them, but again, you can also build it in. And right here, we say that SOAR is a kernel. It's working with incidents and response and orchestration, but also this core cannot exist without asset management. Well, speaking about the new generation SOAR, then this year we are adding also ADR for instant response at the endpoints, and also communication with the regulators, and depending on what company you are and what you need to do more often. And also, we are adding into the SOAR and CM system because we believe that this should be a part of SOAR. If you're not managing events collection or writing correlation rules, if you are not doing it along with your SOAR, according to our concept, we believe this would not be very right thing to do. And we recommend you to build your SOCs and your internal security in this way, because judging from the cases and from our experience, this option will be the most efficient. It's going to give you more benefits than some kind of like a one-off teams and companies which once in a while will be communicating with each other. This is what slows down the real security process. Now, a couple of words about orchestration of the security. Again, it's one-stop shop idea. Other companies have also come into this modus operandi, so to say. And these slides, they are not just a MyTree with a stack, an F stack. It's the reflection of the full coverage for techniques and tactics and implementations. When we say about our concept, when we say that, what has to be a part of it, what not, we also have to add some metrics. How do we know what is efficient and what works? How do we know that clients is going to benefit from it? So far, we've taken best practice, we used the metrics, and if we've covered everything by attack vectors, by the correlation rules, by looking into incidents, we believe things are looking great. And next, I think we have to talk about the four pillars of the SOAR, the new generation SOAR, and also about the process. Like I said before, we are looking into the InfoSec process, and we're not just investigating incidents, we're not only detecting incidents from the events. We've taken and put together this best practice and built a process which we believe that it fools all the incident management as a whole. It's about preparation, how we work with our assets and how we just fine-tune to get the information, and how we then do connectors for them to be able to react using VDR. And it's also about writing correlation rules and how we respond to incidents at different stages, and how we stop an attack, how we do the homework, and so on. All of this is interconnected. Now, what has changed in the past year? Where we decided to focus our attention, and basically what we recommend you to focus if you are still polishing in your SOCs or in your internal information security departments this type of a system. First of all, it's simplicity of implementation. If you look at our colleagues and if you look at products from other fields, all of them have a minus or drawback. You cannot just plug and play, We're also in the process, but we're moving on, making progress so that you would be able to come to any client, any customer, simply to turn on the platform system, to make all the right setup for the integration, and for the things to be operational and start working. Because, again, based on the past year's experience, it would usually take from 3 to 2 years, to implement the whole project on the client side before the whole team would sit down and analyze and would finally begin to do something and to bring some good benefits. Of course, now it's much shorter, to several months, maybe half a year max, but still, we believe even that is still long. We need to speed it up. Next, we are talking about management. This is what all SOAR system manufacturers are trying to get. To be able to manage everyone, all the security tools, without analyst or engineer to do the manual work and spend a lot of their time. When we investigate an incident, we would be able to see all the information about enrichment, what we can do, what we cannot do, depending on the rights and infrastructure, depending on who is permitting us to do what. And also, like I said before, it's a modular build of our architecture. First of all, you have to understand what you bought and how to use this, and what benefit you're going to get. It's not about, take some kind of silver bullet and from the InfoSec system to implant this ecosystem, hoping it's all going to work. No, it's probably about more smart approach when you know that where are the weak spots in your infrastructure, what you would like to change, and we are helping you process-wise to set your goals for defense and then to achieve these goals. And also, previously, when products were being developed, oftentimes they were aimed at the customers, now to some extent too. And when we come and say, what is lacking, what do you want, let us provide you with this. And now for several years we decided to move over, not like give up the strategy. It has become more hybrid. We are trying to also to put in our expertise, because based on experience of implementation and communication with the situation centers and our own situation center, we see that we can do something like an expert on our own and say how to build the process in the right way and which mistakes you should not repeat. Now, what has changed? My colleague has mentioned today about dynamic playbooks, so I'll try to give you a shorter version of it. There are static scenarios when you have what to do, where to run and how to escalate. And also dynamic playbooks, its advantage is that a dynamic playbooks is adjusting on the go-to for any changes, whatever is happening for you. For example, you got a new chain in escalation, and now you have to to write letters or you've added the whole segment of a network, to which you also have to react, or you got a new analytics service you have to ask for information. If you do all of this manually through adoption, writing static playbooks, it's going to take some time. And if we're breaking it down and making dynamic playbook, which is easy to set up in the editor, immediately this problem is gone, and we're saying, okay, take a look. Now you have one more CM, or now you have one more ADR, and also respond using this as a segment. Next, it is something we've had already, kill chain, building the chain of attack. Again, going back into the past, back then we first began to think about macro correlations. It's a correlation between incidents which have already happened and looking for any interconnections between them. You need this for right response, to decrease time of response to incident, but also you need this to be able to find traces of those attackers in your infrastructure. If we can find a connection between the incidents, like a chain incidents one after another, and we can say it's the same guy or the same APT team attacking our system, then investigation of these incidents also we need interconnected, because all the one-off incidents can be saying about the same thing. If two teams, like a virus analyst and those who work with a network, will be working independently, it will not be independently because the attacker may persist in the system and move, and we will not even be able to notice that. We've decided to simplify this mechanism of how these incidents are sought and combined into one attack, and now the attack has become the visual to coordinate people and to provide them with a full toolbox for responding and doing their investigation, and so that this investigation would be consolidated in one point. Next, we've added the new thing. Like previously, we were using different ADRs and do the response with our partners and so on, and now we have our own ADR, and we have added this so that this would be more convenient, and so that only one person would be in charge, because editor and correlation rights are the same. You can set the rules for incident identification, and also you can set the rules for proactive blockage, reacting even before the incident has happened. Like I said, this is just a regular ADR concept. We have it, and moving on. Achievability routes. What it is about? It's about like what point of your network and how you can get to a different point in your network, and these routes are being calculated, and before we've just shown them within the incident as an additional context for you, without raising lots of logs from different machines, and different service would build this path, but to be able to see it very visually and understand which nodes have been impacted, involved, to understand how you need to do your restraint. Like, for example, you need to close the ports or maybe isolate your hosts, and what to do and where to go and how to get to IT department, what kind of ticket to do. So this is also about speed, about visuals, so that incident would be more clear, and so that not only super qualified analysts would be able to do this, and those who are able to connect logs, but also just regular folks who've been trained of how to do these internal SOCs scenarios. In addition to this achievability route, there is also attackers route, and we first began to do a simple thing. We'll build those attackers route. How did they get into our kill chain, and then we assumed that these attackers would pursue certain routes, certain pathways to critical information systems, to some super important and sensitive hosts. Now, we've added right here in also ML, machine learning, to be able to forecast a possible path of an attacker in the system depending on their behavior pattern. Not only we are offering 10 or 20 points, or they may potentially be, but we also show what points out of these 20 would be more realistic for them to get to. Another new thing we're adding, integrated bulletins. It's about the concept of the tier. Gartner was speaking about that last year, that we also have to have a threat detection. And I was speaking about that at this slide with the modules that we need to communicate with the TI and UBA. And right here, like in mini, some kind of option, we decided to make it more real. We're looking at the report, looking at the bulletins, so that analysts would see, okay, this attack is very similar to one famous attack we've heard about, we've known about, and how to respond to that. Or we know how it had happened, so that we could see how to fix it, what kind of hardening we can do in the system, in our infrastructure. So it's like two things. First of all, we can look for coincidences, for indicators, searching for techniques and tactics to highlight a right bulletin to the analyst, but also so that ML system would be able to see different bulletins and break it down to different components, to indicators, to strategic attribution, and also in the incident which shows like what's going on. And also, I think the final thing I want to tell you about is about ML Assistant for an analyst. My colleagues have already highlighted this. I'm going to give you a shorter version of it. Right here, it is not all we wanted to make. We still have lots of plans in our roadmap of what we would like to do with LM, for example, to add into for our analysts. But yes, it is what it is, identifying false positives, which is noise reducing, and so we can focus on very important incidents which probably are going to be real. I mean, analysts will be looking into them, and also analysts may have some other incidents which may be similar, and then one of those incidents will be highlighted as a real incident. So this keeps your perspective fresh, so you would not miss this incident in the flow, because again, there is a human mistake and people may just overlook an incident. Like I said before about building attack chain and similar incidents, we are looking at them, we can connect them according to context, based on who was involved in the incident and how this is done in techniques and tactics. And again, this helps us to give relevant recommendations, and analysts can, among some other similar incidents, to find some response patterns from their colleagues. And for example, when a new analyst come into the team and they need to learn using some information. Now, recommendations. We have two types. First of all, we wanted to reuse recommendations from dynamic playbooks and to rebuild them with time. When we see that for some threats people are more demanded, some are less demanded, never used. The idea was so that dynamic playbook would be redone and some threats would come, others would go. Now it's still in the pipeline. What can we tell about recommendations? It's again recommendations based on historic data about what our colleagues have done or did not do, what they are doing most often, and what people do based on their knowledge database. We can highlight, okay, this is the frequent actions, non-frequent actions, this would be great to do, this is not so great, and so our tools from several hundreds of actions go down to several dozens, much easier to work with. And also the database knowledge database recommendations. We collected several best practices from the Russian and non-Russian vendors. We did some correlation between what what kind of incidents they say and what incidents may happen here locally. So we get basically just a global practice right here as an advice. Now, achievability, again, we do it through this kind of a zero assistant, ML assistant, last kind of, and also the final thing I wanted to say is about parsing of bulletins and adding context. So our concept is that SOAR is not just a SOAR, like not connected here, nobody's talking to this SOAR and integration only. No, SOAR is a unified orchestration system for managing the whole security process, which is able to communicate with its modules so that this security would be enhanced. Thank you for your attention. If you would like to see and to touch on how it works, to see some cases, please come to our stand, our demo, and now I'm open to any questions. Hello, my question is about finding a route through the graphs. I mean about a multi-tenant possibility, like we have a graph for a certain type of incident and maybe some subnets, and on the graph we can see only segmentations within just one tenant. Would it be possible if we have several clients, therefore subnets, but they can be fully replicated? How SOAR would go about that? It's a private case. We didn't get this kind of an inquiries, but technically it would be possible to do. So we can take all the we take them, make the full map of the network, and then to look for the routes from the segment to a segment. So this would be implementable. How about through the organizing this network, if there is some essence in security vision, can you just build this intercommunication? Would that be possible? No, you can't do that. Also through organizations that if they are made not even like a subsidiaries, but if there is at least any connection between them, any routers, yes, we can build it, we can show it. Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Еще раз всем спасибо. Вижу, что вопросов больше нет.
Thanks once again. No questions. If there'll be any questions, please come. Our team will be very happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.